What's up, guys? Just got home from work. Got the garage warmed up. I'm about to tear into this thing. Tonight we'll probably tackle the oil filter housing gasket and the valve cover gasket, and take a look at what else we need to do to this thing. Maybe I'll set up a time lapse and see how fast we can get it torn apart. Here's a quick little look in here. You can see how oily everything is. It's pretty much drenched. This wire right here is just full of oil coming in and out of it. Just little things like that I like to clean up before I drift it. Like this alternator right here, you see that 13 millimeter on there already? They had this one on top of it, so you can only imagine how many threads were really engaged once the positive cable was hooked up. Oh, here we go. Ooh, oil everywhere. Let's see if I can yank this thing out of here now. It's stuck on the power steering pump. Sweet. There we go. Let's see where the gasket is stuck to the block. And it is flat. Sweet. That's why she's a leaker. Cool. Got that thing out. But I just noticed this. Let me see if I can get back in here. So you can see that little orange thing. That is the intake gasket. So this thing's kind of had a high RPM start since I bought it, and that would probably be the cause. Also, there's a ton of junk down here. Like this is the vacuum canister for the exhaust. The muffler has a little flap in it. Gonna rip that out. Right here is the evap solenoid for the charcoal canister. It runs down here. Just gonna rip that out too. Basically just take off anything I don't need. A lot of the stuff is pointless and it's not gonna matter in the future. Just got back from the auto parts store. Grabbed some brake cleaner. I grabbed a oil drain bin. I don't have any of this stuff, so I'm coming to find out what I really need. But I'm just gonna pull the intake off this car because so much of this stuff is hack, and I just want to clean it up under there, block off any vacuum lines that I'm not using. There's just a bunch of extra stuff, and I'm just gonna get rid of it all. Screw it. All right, got the intake ripped off this thing. It looks pretty complex like this, but there's a lot of stuff that's, I'm just gonna tear out, like this CCV right here. It's unneeded. This is unneeded. So if you look underneath this thing, it's actually fairly simple. BMW just likes to make things complicated. So you got a couple vacuum ports. I'm just gonna close those up right there. And another thing I'm gonna do is there's a coolant hose that runs right here. Actually, it goes to the throttle body, but there's no point in water cooling the throttle body. So I got a piece of hose. I'm just gonna loop these two, get rid of that setup completely. Let me clean this up some more and get back to it. Back at it again the next day. Got too late last night, so I figured I would start today. First thing I'm gonna do is just plug this hole right here. This is for the CCV. Obviously this little thing goes in there, and it has a little rubber O-ring that makes it seal up. We're not gonna be running that. So what I'm gonna do is plug it. And I dug around in my drawer and found this. It is a 7/16 impact driver bit. And look at this fitment, dude. I mean, you really can't beat that. So I got some JB Weld. Don't take after me. And I'm gonna, I'm AAC certified, so I'm gonna JB Weld this thing up real quick, wait for it to dry while I eat dinner, and come back out and toss this thing back on. All right, it's the next day again. Sorry, it's kind of hard to remember what I filmed and what I didn't film. Let me get back to it. So I got the intake, everything hooked back up. I'm still missing this part of the intake. I'll probably just make like a little piece of aluminum and a filter right there. The CCV is deleted on the intake. I looped this coolant line right here So it goes right back into the, it just recirculates instead of cooling the throttle body. What else did I do? Basically deleted everything that I didn't need. So like, right here is an evap solenoid. Don't need it. CCV, don't need it. Made it super simple. Maybe down the road I'll do an M50 intake. I actually picked one up from my buddy CJ. It's right here. But I don't have all the parts for it, so I just tossed this stuff back together. And it's easy enough just to hook it all back up. Right now I'm about to rip off the valve cover and redo that. It's leaking in the back and it starts to smoke up once you let it run for a while. So let's get to it. Well, here we go. 241,000 miles on this car. Looks pretty good actually. As you can see, it was leaking in the back. There's no RTV in those half moon pockets right there. That usually causes a leak and a bunch of smoke from the back of the firewall as it drips on the headers. But yeah, this thing looks spotless for the miles. Someone either did their oil changes or maybe someone cleaned it up before I got it, but look at that. Got it all back together for the most part. Valve cover gasket on. Start it up real quick. See how she runs. Runs good, and the next step is to rip the clutch out of this thing. I haven't ordered one yet, but it's gonna need to be done, so I'm gonna pull the transmission maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow and just get that taken care of, and then I'll be dropping the diff out of it, welding that. Then after that, I'm gonna start working on the coilovers and the angle, the alignment, and then she'll be ready to rip. Cool. Catch me on the next one.